Hello everyone, I'm Rhiezl Ramirez from section BSES 3 NR1, currently studying at University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines. I chose a journal article entitled Flood Risk Assessment Using GIS-Based Analytical Hierarchy Process in the Municipality of Odiongan, Romblon, Philippines. Introduction. Floods are caused by the failure of natural paths and drainage systems to hold excess water during and immediately following excessive rainfall. According to a study by Monjardin et al., flooding is a dangerous natural phenomenon that has taken numerous lives and caused enormous economic damage in the Philippines. Flood is considered the second most frequent calamity in the Philippines, representing 31.9% of annual natural disasters. In the Philippines, flood risk maps are essential for the safety of the communities and ecosystems. Furthermore, the assessment and evaluation of flood hazards must be constructed on accurate flood hazard guides to show the real impact of urban development. The objectives of the study. This study aimed to assess the spatial flood risk of Odiongan using the Analytical Hierarchy Process (AHP), considering disaster risk factors with data collected from various government agencies. Second, the study aimed to illustrate the spatial distribution of flooding in the municipality. Methods and materials. Flood hazard parameters. In average annual rainfall, weather stations considered in the interpolation for average annual rainfall using the isohyettal method and to obtain dimensional rainfall patterns for projections of Romblon. In slope, the study prepared a slope map using the FSAR DTM from National Mapping and Resource Information Authority or NAMRIA. In elevation, ground elevation is one of the main factors that should be considered in assessing flood hazards. FSAR data were utilized and processed in the GIS tool. In soil type, the study used the soil map based on the map of NAMRIA stipulated in the Comprehensive Land Use Plan (CLUP) of the Municipality of Odiongan. These data were correlated to the soil's water holding capacity and infiltration rate. In flood depth, ArcGIS, HEC-HMS, and HEC-RAS were the tools used for flood hazard simulation. Flood vulnerability parameters. In demographics, the demographic data were gathered from the database of Philippine Statistics Authority (PSA). The period considered was 2015 to 2020. The on-site survey was conducted in every barangay of the Municipality of Odiongan. In disaster risk reduction data, all data were extracted from the survey conducted in every barangay and CLUP of the Municipality of Odiongan. The barangay identified evacuation facilities where coordinates and floor areas were recorded using GPS and area measuring tools. Flood exposure parameters. In modeling GIS mapping and validation, generated models and maps from ArcGIS were the primary basis in the computation and analysis of final flood risk indices. In basin model pre-processing, creating a basin model of Odiongan River, data were processed using the GIS 10.7 tool plugin in ArcGIS 10.7. This is to generate a basin model and incorporated with available soil and land cover data. In basin model calibration and RIDF simulations, the pre-processing output of the HMS basin model was calibrated under the HEC-HMS 4.9 software to model the hydrologic response of the watershed to a specified hydrometeorological input. In two-dimensional RAS model simulations, the process DEM was used to create the river analysis model RAS model using the HEC RAS 6.2, a practical river hydraulic simulation analysis software. Results and discussion. Figure 3 shows the maps for every parameter of the municipalities of Odiongan, Romblon Province based on hazard criteria. It was noted that 2,203.9 mm was the recorded average annual rainfall by the Romblon Weather Station. The average annual rainfall of the municipality was classified according to interpolation. This study considered the demographics and disaster risk reduction data of the Municipality of Odiongan. Figure 7 shows the maps from the available archival and survey data showing the population age, gender ratio, average income, physical health of the individual, educational attainment, emergency preparedness, and variety of built-up structures. There were 3 identified parameters for flood exposure assessment. Figure 8 shows the population density data, land use map, and household numbers from the CLUP, Odiongan, and PSA database. The visualization outputs for hazard, vulnerability, and exposure are shown in Figure 10. These maps were generated after computing the criteria weights using AHP and incorporating these weights with a GIS-based process consisting of overlays, raster conversion, and layer clipping. Conclusion and recommendation. This study assessed the flood risk in the Municipality of Odiongan, Romblon, considering relevant factors in floods using AHP and following the Sendai framework. The study used ArcGIS, HEC-RAS, and HEC-HMS to map and model the primary and secondary data as parameters that mainly contribute to flooding. The result of this flood risk assessment is essential for the municipality to improve their flood management strategies considering the risk factors, hazard, vulnerability, and exposure. It can help the planning agencies and other stakeholders anticipate flood risk, especially the LGU, by integrating the output into their CLUP. This technique can also be employed by other local government units to come up with more practical and effective strategies. Moreover, future studies must be conducted to enhance and update the flood risk assessment methods and management. The references